Season 1991 of VFA football starts at the home of the reigning premiers, the Williamstown Seagulls, Point Gellibrand, Williamstown. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad you can join us. Hope you'll be with us every Saturday afternoon from here right through until September as we run through what should be a very exciting season of VFA football. Well, it's a very special day down here at Williamstown, the unfurling of the pennant, won in such fine style back there on the 30th of September at the Princes Park ground. We'll be showing you highlights of that memorable grand final, perhaps the greatest ever played in the game, certainly one of the biggest comebacks in history. And today Williamstown are playing the team that they beat then, Springvale. And I'm sure that the Springvale team are smarting. It was a grand final that they really had in the bag, 34 points up early on in that final quarter. Not a bad crowd here. Conditions are perfect. So often it's said that Point Gellibrand is the coldest and wettest spot in metropolitan Melbourne. Well, every time we bring our cameras down here, it is absolutely perfect for football, and it should be an ideal setting for the start of a memorable 1991 season. The players starting to come into place now around the flagpole for the unfurling of this premiership pennant, and a very proud Williamstown supporter will do the honours here today, and that is the Premier of Victoria, Mrs. Joan Kerner, who lives only a punt kick or two away from this ground at Point Gellibrand, a Williamstown resident, and I'm sure she's been very happy over the last 6 months with the performance of her team, winning that grand final by 2 points back there in September. The Springvale team now coming up to take their position opposite their opponents today, Williamstown. I'm sure the two teams will be eyeball to eyeball prior to the bounce of the ball as we wait for the Premier to come out onto the ground to unfurl the premiership pennant. Umpires for today's game, Brendan Carland and Jim Van Beek, the men in the lemon. As we saw last year, they'll be wide for sound again this season on ABC TV. You'll be able to hear all their adjudications on those touchy decisions. The Williamstown team there. 4 players missing from the grand final lineup. Springvale have 8 changes to the team which was runners-up in season 1991. So just a little bit of delay. Obviously a very enjoyable lunch held in the W.L. Floyd Pavilion prior to the bounce of the ball, and the dignitaries just taking their time to come out on the ground. Might give us an opportunity to bring in my co-commentators. No, we're ready for the unfurling of the flag.
It gives me great pleasure to ask the Premier of Victoria, Mrs. Joan Kerner, to unfurl the 1990 pennant, a pennant that's dedicated to the players of the 1990 Premiership team, Williamstown, and to you wonderful supporters who have put up with us through thick and thin. Thank you.
Tony Hanbury, President of the Williamstown Club. And the side every spectator delights in. It doesn't come too often. Sometimes it takes a lot of waiting for. Not so long for Williamstown, 86, and again victorious in 1990. Well, Williamstown have begun the day very well here at Point Gellibrand with victory in the reserves, a crushing win over Springvale by 102 points. Well, I wonder what the feeling is like at ground level. Compliments of the season to Ross Booth.
Thank you, Peter, and to everybody watching. Yes, well, it's a bit breezy down here, as you mentioned. It's sunny, of course, and the wind blowing to the left of screen. Phil Marlin, he's out in the middle there. He's wearing number 49, so watch for that. And an interested spectator, I noticed Sadi Ghazi, the 1989 listed medalist. Perhaps he'll be back at Point Gellibrand before the end of the season to even strengthen them more. Should be a great game. Complacency, the only thing to lose it for Willie.
Heard the tackle pretty well. Height. That's Dale Height who gets the ball into the centre, and there's Phil Malin looking for the 50-metre penalty, and he's got it. Oh, the experience of Phil Malin could get the first goal of the season for Springvale.
There are a lot of players with wearing different numbers today too, Peter, so it'll be a little bit tricky, although I think Ian Rickman is well known to the viewers, despite wearing, I think it was number 30-something.
No problems for the Shark. The first goal of the season to the Springvale coach.
Interstate.
South Australia. So the Vales in attack. There's an ugly pack there. Quick kick by Coop. And it may well have got there. Dougie Coop out of the pack, and the second goal on the board for the Vales. So what a start, but they have the strong breeze.
Just thinking.
we haven't thought your eyesight was failing, Phil. Out of defence goes Smith to McTaggart. And the Seagulls doing a great job setting this game up. Into the breeze they run it. Loose Michelli at half forward. And Sleverson too in the pocket. Can he go on with it? The wind not favouring him. Shoots at goal. Rickman in nice position. Oh, and Aziz marks alone and just runs in and kicks an easy one. Nickel just didn't go for that. He was surprised. He thought Rickman was going for it.
Yeah, there were a few baffled by the breeze there.
Using the ball well enough, Springvale.
24 against 28. That's Clark against Aziz, and Aziz wins it. But Coop sharks. Oh, good judging. Talk about sharking there. It was Round got himself to the front of the pack. Let know early by the umpire that wasn't a mark. There's the other coach getting clear in Malin. Good mark there from Robinson. The big hands wrapping around it. And Keith Robinson will shoot from about 20 metres.
He's a key player, Peter Robinson. That's a great mark there, and he worried Simon Lloyd in the grand final last year with his height. Lloyd's a very dour defender, plays close. Robinson is the key of the Springvale forward line.
The leading goal kicker last season. Gets his first of season 1991, and that's a handy goal for Springvale. They'll want to make as much use as they possibly can of this breeze. They lead by 13 points.
Fencer on the forward line.
Well, I thought Malin would have a shot. No, drifting down the ground unattended is Stuart Nicol. Well, where's Aziz, his man?
He was on the mark of Malin.
Well, that's a
Here he is.
lack of communication, Sam, with the
Yes.
Willie players. Centre half back, dead in front, drills it through. So they're starting to move now, the Vales. They're getting clear with this breeze. Stuart Nicol getting his first 21-point lead at the 23.5-minute mark.
It's typical of Malin too, Peter, to use the ball well, passing it across to Nicol, who was free. Very rare for the Shark to waste a handball or a kick. Always finds the mark. Playing great football.
Uses the ball so very well. His foot and hand disposal is superb.
Oh, there's a good kick off the ground from Grant Smith. And it could lead to a goal for Jack Aziz. Draws the man, kicks accurately.
Got it back quickly, Jack.
Pretty keen on getting a goal. Great competitor.
Perry's on in ruck. Tall, but slighter than Clark. Great gather by Smith, lines him up and puts it through. That's how to kick them.
He really is a classy player, Smith. Got that touch of class about him.
Well, we know he's got a prodigious kicking boot, as we saw in the grand final, but too far out on that occasion. Malin. Oh, Aziz now. Caught Dudley. He's always going to be under a lot of pressure there with that handball from Malin that had him backtracking a little bit. And Jack Aziz takes a chance to get a breather and shoot from about 40 metres.
Come on out.
Some of the handballing has been fairly poor. Unfortunately, the recipients have been flat-footed, and on that occasion,
Okay, forward.
that was the case again. The guy pinned by Aziz.
Aziz gets his third. Could have so easily been 4 after that easy miss.
In trouble. Going the other
Terrible
way.
decision.
Ackley, long bomb. Aziz was at the back, now the front, good spoil, Nicol. Johansson didn't know where it was. Minot does. He looks to the pocket to Michelli and takes a very strong mark on his chest.
You know, Ross, Aziz is putting Nicol under a lot of pressure. Even though Nicol has the height, Aziz always pushes his backside into him, and Nicol really struggles to get the ball out of his hands, and it doesn't go very far with the punch, and
Okay, forward,
the runners, the midfields, are right onto it.
He kicks this, scores a level. And he has Wayne Michelli.
An early lead, and it was ignored.
And not getting the distance, but Robinson, he wasn't there at the start. Now he's marked in the teeth of goal, Sam.
He read it well, didn't he?
Oh, he's a good player. You know, we talk about his ability to mark on a lead, but he's dangerous if he's got a couple of steps in. He's got a good leap, very strong hands.
4 big marks to the full forward. 1 goal to his name. He can't miss that one. And Springvale back in front.
Down goes Howard to home play.
Not too vicious from Peter Rees.
He has wore him like a glove all afternoon.
Ackley's kick over the centre, finds Smith. Grant Smith bounces clear, passes a beauty to Round.
It's one of the features of Williamstown's game, Peter. Their field kicking is always first class. And the likes of Smith run on quickly.
Round won't miss this one. The captain coach gets a vital goal for Williamstown, just stopping a Springvale run on then, and scores a level again.
They could have done better instead of thumbing it off to Stewart. He dummied back into play.
Lloyd to the dangerous Smith. Oh, down goes Smith after he kicked it. The umpires missed it. And they're going on with it. Clark and Smith play. The ball's in the middle. Aziz, can he put Willie back in front? Looks for Michele. 1 hand on it. Dempster with him, the veteran. Well done, Graham Dempster. McDonough paddles out. Dudley and Springvale get out of trouble through Mendy. Out to half back. Rees from centre half forward. A lot of work to the ground to cover, and he couldn't keep it in. Yes, Phil. The umpires missed it.
Philip.
Should have been a free kick upfield on Grant Smith.
Jeff's down. Miles. Swan is clear of Bromwich here. Running on Grant Smith. No one back there, or is there? Minor can't quite make it. It's a point lead at half-time, thanks to that Grant Smith behind. Well, we've had a report in the match. Ian Rickman has had his name taken. It's been a fairly fiery encounter. In the replay of the grand final, 2 points separated them at full time there 6 months ago. It's only a point the difference now. It's frustrating first half for Ian Rickman here. The goal kickers up to half time for the leaders, Williamstown. Jack Aziz signing autographs. He's kicked 3 goals. Singles to Michele, Round and Smith. While for Springvale, the other multiple goal kicker is Keith Robinson, who has 2 for them. Singles to Coop, Malin and Stuart Nicol. It's half-time at Point Jellybrand, and it's Williamstown, the reigning premiers, leading Springvale by a point.
Good smother. Michele with strength. Gets a hand pass cleared. Interception. Out wide and loose is Bromwich. Oh, too far. Well read by Bill Swan. Races in with pace. The veteran chips it short to Rickman. Unselfish play. And Rickman looks again. And unguarded is Rick Sleverson.
Bill Swan's playing great football, Ross, isn't he? You know, to take a bounce there, he really backed himself in, and there's no doubt he's still got the pace, and his use of the ball, as usual, superb.
Well, he read the ball
possessions.
so well. You know, the kick was out in the Bromwich direction. He saw it so early. Sleverson to goal. No problems. And Williamstown back in front, and ball field. How many times has the lead changed now?
Very cheeky little cross goal kick.
We see Nicol back to centre half back, and I think Rees has gone to centre half forward, or Dempster, who I would like to see at centre half forward, because he's capable of taking a big grab and kicking a long goal.
Thumping kick by Coop. Well, let's go all the way. Wowee, that's a big kick. 60 metres. And the old torpedo, the first genuine one of the day. And Doug Coop kicks his 2nd goal, and Springvale back in the lead.
Jeff Clark, not a part of the Springvale team this year, as Simon kicks it to the half-forward flank. Here's Elliott. Not a bad kick, and it's found Robinson. Good kick there from Chris Elliott, and Keith Robinson can put Springvale further in front here.
It was a long raking kick into the square, wasn't it? Really, I think it took Lloyd by surprise, the amount of distance it covered.
Just to make the difference, 9 points. Springvale towards 3/4 time with Keith Robinson's 3rd.
Nicol. Players tiring perhaps. Malin through his hands. Michele couldn't get it clear. Aziz High one, underneath it, Jeffs. Oh, Nickel. Coop. Danger for Springvale. Johansson can twist and turn, shoots at goal, and goals. And that's not what the Vales wanted. Margin back to 4 points.
Time to weigh up the options and go long towards Atkins. Chipping in front was Mitchell. Consummate back pocket. Heights kick. As this has got clear. Met well by McDonough, who was running with the fight of the ball. It's three-quarter time at Point Gellibrand. And the difference is 4 points. It was a 1 point lead for Williamstown at half-time. Springvale have taken the lead, but they'll be going against the breeze in the last term. Goal kickers for Springvale. 3 to Keith Robinson, 2 to Doug Coop. Singles to Nickel, Atkins and Malin. While for Williamstown, 3 to Jack Aziz, the man bending over there in centre of shot. Singles to Sleverson, Michelli, Round, Johansson, Smith and Rickman. So the goal kickers evenly spread for Willie. They're within 4 points at three-quarter time at Point Gellibrand. The first game of VFA football for 91. Springvale leading, going from left to right in the last term. But it's Swan out of the middle for the Seagulls. Up early was Smith, didn't come down with it. Round, he's got clear. Sleverson from 25 metres. Aziz will get the goal. What a start for the Premiers.
Yeah, that was just a little all too easy, Peter. A little all too easy, out of the centre.
He sparked them. Well, they can't get past the middle at the moment. This is Andrew Howlett looking for a mark from Smith, who's had his hands on 3 so far in this quarter. Aziz is handballed around. Too much strength. Big Barry gets his second.
Lucky not to hurt himself. Maloney, Mendy, Jeffs, back to Mendy. Lucky it bounced for him. And they've got it to half-back. Oh, bad one, intercepted. Swan puts it down the throat of Sleverson and shut the gate now.
Stay there.
Thumps it to centre forward. The target, Barry Round. Lovely roving from Rickman onto the left foot, and lovely goal, Ian Rickman. The second classy goal on the left foot from the full forward.
Well, Phil, the floodgates have opened now, haven't they? As Peter mentioned earlier, there was a sense of inevitability after the first 5 minutes. And Rickman has been a valuable contributor when moved further afield, hasn't he?
Yes, I think it always looked like happening. It was hard to work out how Springy kept in the game, let alone had more scoring shots than Williamstown, who seemed to be using the ball better throughout the game. But
Mitchell's tap to Height. Ackley, number 5. Running away from Coop.
But Phil, they're certainly going to be dependent on that experienced content, aren't they? Malin, Clark, Robinson, that really haven't unearthed, you know, 2 or 3 couple of new players that can take the pressure off those players.
Big win by the reigning premiers Collingwood there over Fitzroy. The reigning premiers in the VFA will notch a first up win over Springvale. We're coming up to time on. There's another goal. Was it Miles? It was. Interchange player. Miles putting that one through.
Right.
Rickman's handball to Mendy, who's pinged for holding the ball. No, sorry, not Martin Mendy. It was Michael Maloney. Play on, and the goal has been snapped from the boundary line. Help me, gents. A lot of blank looks around here.
Yes, well, my vision was obscured. I did.
Advantage played by the umpire. The free kick was paid here for holding the ball.
Yes, against
22.
Maloney.
It was Johansson.
Johansson.
The steal from Stephen Johansson kicked his second from an acute angle.
Probably been one of the quieter players.
Chimed in on the appropriate time on a couple of occasions with a goal here and there.
convincing 38-point win first up for the reigning premiers Williamstown as they go down that difficult road to defend their premiership. They've done it in convincing style here today. Springvale, perhaps they should have had more breathing space at quarter time. Inaccurate kicking meant that wasn't so, and a 4-point lead wasn't ever going to be enough for them to be able to defend. And 38 points in the end for Barry Round's Seagulls. 4 goals for them, kicked by Jack Aziz. Sleverson 3, 2 apiece to Johansson, Round, and singles to Michele, Miles, Smith and Rickman. Leading goal kicker there, Jack Aziz. Looks around. He could shake hands with any number of his teammates who have contributed very well here today. One of them, David Ackley, who made a good debut in VFA football after a slowish start. Andrew Howlett there in the middle of the shot also played very well. For Springvale, leading goal kicker was Keith Robinson, who spent the last part of the game off the ground. 3 for him, 2 to Doug Coop, singles to Nickel, Atkins and Malin. So Springvale have yet to win a game in their VFA history, which began in 1983 here at Williamstown. The flag unfurled today by the Seagulls, and they made sure it was going to be a day of celebration. Ross Booth is down with our man of the match.
Well, Bill Swan's our man of the match. Bill Stubbs, Awards Express has your trophy.
Here we are. Thanks very much, Ross. Well done, Bill Swan. Congratulations on a great game today on behalf of Awards Express. Here's the trophy. Well done.
Well, Swanee, the obvious question, what made you come back after kicking the winning goal in last year's grand final?
Oh, I suppose if you like playing footy, why give it away? So that's why I just like playing footy. I like being involved at Willie, and I'll play as long as I can. Good.
Well, if you play like today, you'll keep playing for a long time, along with Barry Round. So Bill Swan, our man of the match.
Can I just thank Wards and Mazda? Thanks a lot. We really, all the players really appreciate it.
Okay. Bill Swan.
And next Saturday, our match of the day will come from Port Melbourne, where the home side face Paran. A lot of raps on BT's 2 Blues this season. That should be a very interesting one. And then the continuation of round 1. Remembering no games to be played tomorrow. Dandenong, Coburg, Frankston and Box Hill at home. Oakley have the bye because of Campbell's demise from the competition. So Oakley's first game will be against Box Hill on April the 20th, and we'll see that game and our live Saturday game on that day, April the 20th. Hope you've enjoyed the action here today from Point Gellibrand. A 38-point win for Williamstown against Springvale. Goodbye until next Saturday from North Port.